Guys, Delu Laguna, YouTube's N'Golo Kante, I'm here again. Now, how do I phrase this? Now, we've all had, whether you support Arsenal, Chelsea, whatever team you support, I'm sure we've all had players that have proved us right and proved us wrong. What I mean by that is if we take someone like Koscielny, for example, he didn't have the best of starts to his Arsenal career. Let's not beat around the bush. He was crap and now he's become very certain. The same goes for Gareth Bale. There was a point Gareth Bale wouldn't get into the top 10 sides, as talented as he would. He wouldn't get into the top 10 sides in the Premier League. It's crazy, I know. Flip that, he's where he is now. I'm sure United and all these other clubs, there's several examples of players that have come good or players that have started well and turned out crap. So what I'm asking is, like, when do you lose faith in a player? When do you, I don't know. This is something I've always had problems with. My problem, like Wenger, is I have a lot of faith in players. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blind faith like Wenger, but I'll give trust to people. Like, how much faith do you give? When do you give up on a player? What are the signs to give up on a player? When do you conclude that this player isn't going to do what you want to do? I say this because if we look at Gabriel now, when he came, we were hearing South American monster, grew up in the favelas, saw all the sorts of stuff growing up. He's a monster, he takes no prisoners. We saw what he did to Costa in the sense that he didn't do nothing, but he gave it back. And as an Arsenal fan, we've had a bunch of sissies, and to see someone do that, that's a mad thing. Let's not kid ourselves. And we were seeing he's rough around the edges, these things, but he showed some promise. And don't get me wrong, Gabriel had some good games, but he's also had some bad games. He polarised opinion, and personally, I didn't know when to give up on him until when I brought out that video. Last season, I gave up on him. Actually, when he was playing at right back in his best, and he was having the best form. But whenever I brought out the video saying I was wrong on Gabriel or something like that, you guys have watched it. It was a couple months or a couple weeks before that is when I did. And it took me a while, when do you give up on a player? I just saw the signs that Gabriel wasn't improving he just weren't improving. He just weren't, not even just improving. I like to see sensibleness in any walk of life. If you burn your hand on a fire, you're not going to put your hand in the fire. At Arsenal, we have players that make the same mistake. So with that same logic and using the same analogy, they put their hands in the fire and get burnt again. Ramsey puts his hand in the fire all the time. Okay, maybe I shouldn't neglect my midfield duties and run away. Put my hand in the fire. Xhaka, maybe I should have a defensive bone in my body and switch on. Hand in the fire. Alexis the same at times. Ozil the same, etc., etc. Bare other players not learning. So yeah, man. Even Memphis Depay. I was impressed with Memphis Depay at the World Cup. He went United. Like I said, it weren't all his fault as to why he hasn't made it. I'm not going to go into specifics. But you were hearing next Ronaldo, number 7, all of these things. When did some United fans, because I've said this with my friends, and they said he was crap from the minute he started. They didn't rate him. Fair play if you think he was dead. But when do you conclude a player isn't good enough? Not even that. If we look at Mustafi, I was ecstatic when we got Mustafi. I was like, alright, cool. We're getting someone that he might not be the best, but he's an upgrade on what we have. He's aggressive. That's the main thing. He gets tight. And then I was happy with that when we signed him. Now we've got him. I'm still happy to a degree, but don't get me wrong, my ratings have gone down for Mustafi to a degree because I keep seeing the same mistake. Now, whether that's coaching, whether that's the player not learning, I don't know what it is. And I'm going to say it just to get into specifics. You know how I've always said he's a good defender, but he likes to get too tight to people. He's always getting tight like he's trying to get someone's number and he doesn't drop off. How many times do you need to do that before you realise it's a mistake? Or do you realise a player isn't smart enough to learn from that? I don't know. Same goes for Luke Shaw and Phil Jones now for several different reasons. Shaw, I've given up on him a bit because of these injuries and because he's fighting a losing battle against Jose and all of these things. I still believe he's a good player. Jones is ironically in form. I thought Phil Jones was going to be a madman or a very decent centre-half. He still is to a degree. But why I say that is because he was done his thing at Blackburn. Wenger was gassing him. Fergie was gassing him. They were in a bidding war. United won the race. Fergie, another granddad of mine, I've got 4 granddads. Wenger and Fergie are the other 2. He was saying he can be the most important player at United in United's history. I didn't believe that. But there was some big praise, and big Fergie ain't going to just say that for no reason. So, yeah, even Bellerin, I love Bellerin. I think Bellerin's hard. But when I look at him sometimes and I deep it, I'm like, you're not learning from your mistakes. You're not improving. You're not doing certain things. Do I give up on you? Same goes for Szczesny. I gave up on Szczesny. I still believe in him, but I gave up on him when he was at Arsenal because he was doing the same things and he weren't being mature. He went away out of the environment and now he's at Juventus, and you can see what I mean by that. There's a case for keeping faith. Of course, you're backed up with keeping faith. Koscielny and all of these players. Coquelin is falling off a bit, but I believed in Coquelin to a degree, and for a period of 14, he proved us right. Who else did I believe in? There's a couple players at Arsenal that I believed in. I believed in Gibbs. Initially Gibbs struggled with concentration and things like that coming to the side. steady came up. Monreal, I kept faith in Monreal. I kept faith in Monreal for one reason and one reason only. He had a problem with form. When he first come, he was playing mad. Then he started getting crap. Then he got this consistency in his game, and now he's somewhat alright. I know I've been saying he shouldn't be in the side and all of these things, but you get it. Even if we look at Spurs fans, when did you I know if we look at Janssen last year, it's his first year. How many games do you think, okay, it's his first year, let him adapt? And how many times do you think that, or do you come to the conclusion he's just not good enough? I don't know. Even Eric Lamela, giving faith to people, they come good. Lamela wasn't 30 at Spurs for a number of years. He was part of the banner. I remember they've all come good now. But remember when Spurs signed all them players with the bail money and there was the picture and everyone used to run rants at Spurs fans? How long did it took fans to retain faith in him and things like that? I don't know the course of this video, guys. But when you see, in Arsenal's case, or based on what I've said, Koscielny, Monreal, and these players, how long do you give faith and see if they come good? Or when do you conclude a player is crap and you cut them loose like Gabriel and players like that? I don't know the course of this video. I don't actually know what I'm trying to ask. I guess it's an impossible question. But when do you actually know when to keep faith or just the player's not worth it anymore? I don't know, man. And I doubt even these managers know. Wenger certainly don't know because he keeps carrying some of these dons. But yeah, man. Guys, Deluded Gooner, I'm signing out. I don't think there's any much more to be said on that front. Get in the comments, do the rest.